Multiply polynomials. James is researching the electrical impulses impacting the frontal lobe of the brain when a seizure occurs. To study the velocity and impact of the impulses, James must simplify this equation. Simplify the equation. So for this, when we're working from left to right, we begin by multiplying the variables. Working from left to right, we begin by multiplying the like terms. And when multiplying variables, we add the exponents. And if there is no exponent, we assume the exponent is 1. So let us go back to our example and apply this. So when we see this equation, we're going to work from left to right. So for the first thing we're going to do is multiply the 2 and the 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. So now we've taken care of the numbers. Now we're going to keep going. So now we have a here, and we have an a here. So we have a squared times a squared. And so when we multiply the variables, we add the exponents. So here we would go a, 2 plus 2 is 4. Now we look at the b. We see that there's b to the 4th and just b to the 1. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So we'd go b to the 5th power. Now we multiply the last term, which is c. We have c and c squared. So 1 plus 2 would give us 3. So this is our simplified equation for James. So let's look at another example. Mary is researching the electrical impulses impacting the cerebral cortex of the brain when a seizure occurs. To study the velocity and impact of the impulses, Mary must simplify this equation. So like before, we're going to go from left to right. So the first thing we do is we're going to multiply out the numbers. So we have 3 and 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. Then we look at the r. We send an r there and r there. So we have r1 and r2. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So we have r to the 3rd power. Next we look at s. And we see that on the second term, right here, there is no s. So we would actually just leave it as is. S to the 4th power. The last thing we do now is we look at that t. We have t squared and t squared. So t squared. So 2 plus 2 is then t to the 4th power. So this is our simplified equation for Mary. And so remember, when multiplying polynomials, combine like terms. And the shortcut for multiplying the same variable with exponents is to add the exponents together. And if the variable does not have an exponent, the exponent is the number 1.